welcome. Today we are going to learn how to calculate debt to income ratio. You need to know this if you are trying to buy a home, okay? So we are going to learn exactly how to calculate this ratio and what are some good ratio percentages that you need to stay in, okay? So when we talk about debt to income ratio, it is basically just, in layman's terms, exactly all of your monthly debt opposed to your gross monthly income, okay? So today what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and just calculate a quick example of ratio just so you can see how this works, because this is what the bank is going to do when you decide to apply for a home, okay? So most people have a car note, most people have student loans, most people have credit card payments, things like that. So we're going to take some examples and we're going to take an example income and we are going to calculate debt to income ratio. So let's say that an individual has a car note of $400 plus, let's say altogether, the minimum payment on their credit cards. That's the payment that you want to look at, okay? So we got our car payment here. Just making sure you all can see that. This is the car payment. And so let's say altogether, they have the minimum payment on their credit cards is around $200. And I'm trying to just use real life examples because, we need to see exactly what this is going to look like. So we got the car payment, the credit card payment, and we're only looking at debt, guys, not utilities, things like that, only debt. And let's say they have $100 student loan payment. Trying to think of what other debt they could have. Let's just say this is all they have. So their monthly debt from loan or credit things is 400 plus 200, that gives you 600, plus another 100 is $700. So this individual's total monthly debt obligation is $700. Okay, so now let's look at their gross monthly income. Okay, so let's say that they make about, we'll say, $45,000 per year. Okay, but we need to get their gross monthly income. This is going to be the income before taxes comes out. So we're going to divide this amount by 12. I don't like to do math, so let me get my calculator here. So 45,000 divided by 12 gives you $37.50 per month. This is their total gross monthly income. Okay, so once you have these numbers, that is where you're going to take those numbers and you're going to calculate your debt to income ratio. Okay, so we got an individual that has $700 in monthly debt, and then we have them making $37.50 per month. Okay, so now I'm going to erase this. Make sure you take notes. I'm going to erase this. We're going to keep up with the numbers that we have. They got $700 worth of debt and $37.50 of income. Okay, so what we're going to do is divide those two numbers. Okay, so I'm going to delete. Well, not delete. I'm going to erase this, and we're going to calculate that ratio. So they have $700 of debt payments monthly. Okay? You're going to divide that by the 3750. Okay? What number does that give us? That is going to give us, divided by 3750, that is going to give us 0.186. You want to take that number and we're going to time that number times 100. That's going to give you 18.6%. Honestly, this is a really, really great debt to income ratio. So most lenders want you to have your debt to income ratio less than 43%. Every lender has their own qualification. I know that when I was getting my first home, I think 38% was what they wanted me to be under. I've seen lately I've been seeing less than 36%. So let's just look at another example of someone that has a lot of debt or something like that. So you could also look at this another way. What if a person has what if a person have $1,500 of monthly debt payments, but they only make $37.50 a month? Let's look at that. So you got 1,500 divided by 37.50. There's 0.4. If you times that by 100, that's going to give you 40%. Okay, so this person is actually reaching where they're getting really close to the requirements, and they more than likely need to try to work on getting this number down a little bit. They could possibly try to pay off one of the credit cards or try to pay off something that's causing them to have a high debt payment. But this is how you calculate debt to income ratio. This is the ratio that is used when lenders determine if you are qualified to buy a home. Also keep in mind, now, I know a lot of people have student loans. When you are calculating your debt to income ratio, if your student loans are deferred, the lenders will look at 1% of your total loan balance. So let's look at what that looks like. So if you have, I'm just going to delete this. I keep saying delete because I think I'm on a computer and I'm not. So if you have $60,000 of student loans, okay? And let's say you have them deferred for whatever reason. You're not paying them right now, but you're trying to buy a house. Or you have them forbearance. Now, from my understanding, if they are deferred, they won't count them. If they are in forbearance, I believe that they will. And then when they do, they count 1% of this amount. So 1% of $60,000 is $600. I think I said, yeah. 1% of $60,000 is $600. They're going to take this amount and they're going to average that into your debt to income ratio. So if you do not currently have you're not currently paying them, they're going to look at this amount, okay? They're going to look at this. They're going to average that in with your total monthly debt payments. I know that sometimes this can be really hard for people I know that it was for me. When they're counting a $600 payment and you don't even pay $600 a month, but that's the United States of America and how they mess up, people that went to college just to try to get a better education. But they will count this amount. So I would say do not give up. Just look for a cheaper house. Your first house does not have to be your end house, okay? So just always keep that in mind. But I hope this was helpful with calculating debt to income ratio. So if you have any more questions for me, please leave them in the comment box below. And let me know what else you would like to see.